we got to the spot, to the location before we can get pulled over. But just so happened, when he dropped me off, he kept on going, and they pulled him over without me being in the car with him. And they talked to him and told him, hey, what's going on? Da 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 da. Who was the guy in the passenger seat? He told him who I was. You can contact him again. He'll serve y'all drugs again. When he came back, he had a ghost on his face. I said, what's wrong with you? He said, oh, man.
Welcome to the We Got Problems podcast with co-hosts Curtis G. Martin, Rhonda L. Brown, and Khalif Johnson Sr., the one and only podcast where solutions get discussed to our community's everyday troubles. Each week, you will hear mind-blowing conversations and actionable tips and strategies that you can implement in your daily life to become more effective. We got problems and we got solutions.
All right, you guys, welcome to the show. This is We Got Problems, where we discuss solutions. I'm Curtis G. Martin, and I'm here with my co-host, Rhonda L. Brown. My other co-host, Khalif Johnson Sr.
Hey, y'all. Peace. How y'all doing?
And we have a special guest with us today, Mr. UNDERSTANDMEMAN.
Hey, that part. I'm here, man. People grow where motivation flows. That's
there
all
we
I'm
go.
saying. Organic guidance, OGS CAFE.
Hey, look, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do?
Oh, man, I do a whole lot, man. First of all, my name is Ronald McFoy, a.k.a. Mr. UNDERSTANDMEMAN. I do motivational speaking. I speak from organic guidance because I've been through the struggles. I've been through the ups and downs for finances. I did 7 years in the penitentiary. I had federal indictments. I've been through time in the land of the soldiers, of the gangsterisms, all that, what you know about the killing and drug dealing. I did that. And God has brought me out of that situation and brought me back to being a motivational speaker. So, hey, I teach people grow where motivation flows. Wherever water flows, food grows. So wherever you got motivation, people will grow. And that's what I do. I do it to erase the ignorant mindset. Because, you know, what I just told you a story, a lot of people have an ignorant mindset. And it's still happening. So I'm a motivational speaker, and my name is Mr. UNDERSTANDMEMAN.
All right, so how did you get into clothing? I met you at Recession Proof, and you had a booth there, and you were selling some clothing. So how did you get into clothing?
Actually, when I came out in 2019 after doing the 7.5 years, my niece had a father that was in Atlanta, and she had a baby daddy that was in Atlanta, and my sister was like, "Hey, man, go meet this dude because due to the fact that I ain't met him, but he's supposed to have my daughter pregnant." So I went all the way to Atlanta and met this dude. Fool was trash. He was a bullshit dude, right? Seriously, he's a bullshit dude. He came down to owe the family some money, and 2 months later, my niece had the baby. Now he was a bullshit nigga. And when I say a bullshit nigga, I had to step up to the plate for my own niece. And my niece had named her daughter London. And I had told myself, I can't go back to doing what I used to do because family needs family around, especially if you're a man of protection and you know how to provide. And so I said, man, you know what? Since this fool done left, I'm going to make a clothing line off of my niece's name just off the rip. And I made the clothing line London Sky. And it's you know, we've been going down like that ever since.
Okay, so I know on some of them you have MMM. What does that mean?
Money making mindset. Now, some of us will wake up with a mindset of worrying about some BS. And some of us will be worrying about finances. And finances is the one thing that solve 85% of our problems. You know what I'm saying? Ain't shit funny without no honey. You understand me? And you can't get no honey without no money. So it was always a mindset that me and my crew, we always was about money. We was always about money. Even when we was in jail, we was about money. And so when I came out, I said, I had an OG partner, and his name was Triple M. And we say, Triple M, what's going on, homie? And he said, man, I'm just keeping my mind on my money and my money on my mind. That's all, right? And I said, man, you know what? Triple M, I'm gonna make a t-shirt off of you. And then he said, man, you bullshit. And I said, now I'm gonna make a t-shirt off of you. It's gonna be money making mindset. Because every time I see you, you telling me my money on my mind and my mind on my money. And we call you Triple M. So I just added the money making mindset because he was always about money and his mind was on his, he was set on his mind and it was about the money. So that's how that came about too.
Okay. So you're an author too, right? What's the name of your
Yes, sir.
books? And what's the name of your books or your
My
books?
Yeah, my name on my books, the one book that the one that's in my heart is From the Dark to the Light ebook. And then the second one is from another situation that I was seeing what was going around in the world with, you know, young brothers getting killed by cops and just, you know, how one person can ruin their name by being a snitch or touching a little kid or anything. You can ruin your name. So I named the book the situation that can ruin a reputation, right? Because all it takes is one situation to ruin your reputation. That's it. So, and then I got my London Sky financial ebook, you know, to help you out in the credit, you know, establish, you know, your credit, help you out with some extra hacks, get you some funding. You know, y'all know the basic routine. Y'all know to get down.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, about the book,
Okay.
and a little bit more about both of them?
Okay. Now, From the Dark to the Light ebook is about me having 5 different girlfriends before I went to jail and before I got my federal indictment. I had 5 different girlfriends, and actually 3 of them was really my down to earth girls. We sold dope together. You know what I'm saying? We sold a lot of dope together. You know what I'm saying? And I was dealing with all different women at the same time, and all of them had different mindsets. And so one will want to do business and establish getting real estate, and one will want to look good with me walking down the street. You know what I'm saying this is my man. And then another one will say, well, no, I'm his boss bitch, or I'm his bottom bitch. They all had 3 different mindsets on how they wanted to use me. So the book was basically just about the mindset of 3 women and me as a man going through the management of being a Suge Knight or a Jay Prince or, you know, any other kind of mobile baby or anything like that. And focusing on that situation of being a manager and selling drugs at the same time and dealing with 3-4 women, it was just a headache. But the dark was that I was trying to take care of everybody. The light was that I had to understand that I couldn't take care of everybody. And that's what the book is basically about. Invest in yourself instead of others. Yeah, and then the From the Situation That Ruins a Reputation book. You know, that was a deep one because, you know, I had wrote that book while incarcerated, while I was fighting my case. That, you know, when we saw Michael Brown get killed, we saw Trayvon Martin get killed, all them type of, you know, stories. I was in jail at that time, and I happened to watch the Trayvon Martin trial. And when I was watching the trial, I just saw how the manipulation was there. Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
We hear you. You good?
Yeah. So the manipulation was there on how they beat the case. You know what I'm saying? And it was just basically a flip side from O.J. Simpson trial all the way to Trayvon Martin trial on how things had just turned. And, you know, then you had the Christopher Donner, the LAPD cop, was killing all the other cops at a certain time and had California on high alert when he was killing them cops. That same jail that his body came to, the corner officers was next to the jail that I was at. So his body came there, and all the other sheriffs that he had killed that same day had came in that same vicinity. So we seen all these cop cars pulling in these, you know, their, you know, dead bodies and all this stuff. And then I happened to think, just seeing all the stuff that was going on in the world at the time, I said, you can do one thing and it can actually cause your reputation to end, you know. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, just being in jail, you steal, you done. You do something bad, you're done. Your name is no longer good. And, you know, I believe in the Bible truly when it says, you know, your name is as good as gold. You know, that goes a long way with me. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people all the time, don't mess up your name off of one little mistake. So I
So
made
what made you want to start writing?
well, I did too much talking. You know what I'm saying? I did too much of this, and I said it's time to do some of this. You know what I'm saying? And put it into a book. And so that's really what made me say, let me put my story into a book. So in case something happened to me, I'll always be here. I can always tell somebody my story, and I can always give light and inspire others to know that, hey, look, you got a story, but if you don't tell your story, won't nobody hear your story, and you can't help nobody else. See, I believe in the words that your words have to be impeccable. Your words can either help or it can destroy everything around you. You know what I'm saying? And you got to learn what's good that's coming out your mouth, you know, because a lot of us as black men and black women, you know, we will make one mistake, but we will pay for it 1,000 times. You know what I'm saying? We're the only creature on earth that actually, you know, you get your sister kicked out, your car break down, you're going to pay for that 1,000 times. Ain't nobody ever going to forget about that. You know what I'm saying, B? But you ain't never seen no dogs complaining about what dog ate my food. They just get on and go about their way. So we the only creatures that, you know, make one mistake and pay for it 1,000 times. So at the end of the day, I think that I wrote books to let people understand that, and that's why I call myself Mr. Understand Me, man, is that understand others and you won't take everything personal.
So what was your process like when you were writing?
I would write 1 page a day in my cell. I wouldn't go no past 1 page a day. Now, if I happen to just, you know, say, all right, I got some more flow in me, I'm going to go ahead and flow. But I would write 1 page a day because that's what a dude told me. He said, don't be trying to, it's your first book. Don't be trying to act like you some kind of author and all that shit. Just write. You know what I'm saying? He said, just write what your mind is telling you. And then basically what I was writing was a skeleton. So I did it 1 day, 5 days a week, 1 hour a day. And I did it for 2 years. And I did 2 books. And then after I did them 2 books, I had a lifer give me his book before I got released. So it was a 1 day process for 2 years, 5 days a week.
Okay, so are you self-published or did you go through another company?
I self-published.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they say. And I dealt with a lot of other like Caucasian males that's in the book game. And they was just like, no, do it yourself, young brother. Like, and I, you know how all of us as brothers, we be like, man, we go to another brother don't really want to help you. But then you got a white boy like, man, come over here, I'll show you the game. And then he laid some things down to me. And he said, you doing what you're supposed to be doing it yourself.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hey, look, so in that book, Dark to Light, you mentioned that you were being watched by the FBI. How did that come about?
Well, and this is what I tell a lot of people, man, friends is a cold game. Friends can actually act like they there for you, but they actually hurt you, man. You know, that jealousy is a real big thing. But I happen to get hooked up with another dude through my friend. And he was looking for some product. And so I decided, I said, I got it. And I went to go meet him. And when I went to go meet him, I served him the first time, right? But I served him with my friend the first time. And when I was in the passenger seat, and the FBI informant got behind me, and in the passenger seat behind me. So his camera only can see the driver's seat, but he only can hear me, but he can't see me. So on my paperwork, it said that they had to do the case all over again because when the feds have you watching you and they're trying to get a sale from you, they have to have a receipt, and their receipt is your identification. So after I sold to the FBI agent, I was supposed to get pulled over by an undercover car or by a regular police car, and they will actually say, "Hey, what's your name?" Pull you over, act like they gonna give you a ticket or whatever, but they actually just identify you, right? And then they let you go on about your way. The first time they did this, they couldn't catch us because my friend was driving so fast. We got to the spot, to the location before we can get pulled over. But just so happened, when he dropped me off, he kept on going, and they pulled him over without me being in the car with him. And they talked to him and told him, hey, what's going on? Da 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 da. Who was the guy in the passenger seat? He told him who I was. You can contact him again. He'll serve y'all drugs again. When he came back, he had a ghost on his face. I said, what's wrong with you? He said, oh man. He said, man, somebody was calling. He said, man, the narcotic boys, man, they just pulled me over, man. They found a little half a blunt in my ashtray, man. I said, okay, you ain't in jail? Oh man, they might tell my parole officer because he was on parole. And he was in shock. So that's what I took it as. But when my paperwork came in, my paperwork said, no, the FBI got him, investigated him, and he told them, yeah, but he told them that, hey, you know, like, that wasn't me that served the drugs, da 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 da. But he didn't come back and tell me that they was the feds, and I had just sold to the feds. But when I get my paperwork from my lawyer tell me this. He said, you know about that story that happened with Jesus? I said, yeah. You know, what you call it, turned against them and all that. He said, yeah, well, that's what happened with you. Your boy got you. Your boy didn't tell you what had just happened. If he would have told you what just happened, you would have probably beat the first case because you wasn't on camera. It was only him. You get what I'm saying? Because the dude with the camera was sitting behind me, right? So he only could hear me, but he can't see me. You understand? And they needed my ID and they needed my facial in order to make it a solid case. So they did it the second time and they got me. Dude bought dope from me again, and this time he had my facial. And when I drove off about 2-3 miles away, a sheriff car pulled me over. They got my identification and they sent me on my way. And then next, 2 weeks later, they was knocking at my mama's door like this.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So that's a true story.
So without being too graphic, in chapter 2, you talked about drugs and sex. What made you just go with the flow, and did it get you in trouble?
Did drugs? You said what?
You said because you were talking about the drugs and the sex and the women and all that. But
I think it was some threesomes, foursomes, and fivesomes going on.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just gonna go with the flow.
Yeah. Okay. Without getting too graphic, I had a friend that was deeply in the aftermath scene, and that's all I'm gonna say. Y'all know what aftermath, Drizzy, Dr. Drizzy, right? He was signed to them, and he was a ghostwriter. So as he was a ghostwriter, we was into Entourage, and this was like literally probably the first Hollywood party I ever had been to, and I had saw, Cole from Martin Lawrence. Mm-hmm. He was there. It was a lot of other people there, right? And that was the first time that I had actually understood what Money Mike, Money Mike, when he was saying that stuff about Dr. Overby and shit and all that, mm-hmm. on that comedy shit. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I was like, oh, this shit real. Mm-hmm. And I had to just fall back and instead of trying to rub elbows, I had to just go with the flow and let these people do what they do, because this was my first day in the doors of Hollywood. You get what I'm saying? So I had to just go with the flow because, you can be surprised, but when you get to certain levels, you got to be like, adapt. You got to adapt, but don't sell your soul. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Y'all feel me? Yeah.
Okay, so what ended up happening, without giving the people too much so they can still buy the book? So what ended up happening at the end of the book?
Well, what ended up happening at the end of the book was this. I ended up doing a long term in prison, but these women that were supposed to be down for me, like I was down for them on the outs, they all start falling off like dead leaves on a tree. And when they start falling off, it only left me with one person, and that was my first baby mother. And when I came out of jail, I bought me a house. When I came out of jail, I bought me an AMG Benz, and I stayed focused. And I turned out to have my clothing line, London Sky, while you got the hat on right now. I kept on pushing. And so I'm saying that the book is saying that you can be in the dark for a long time, but until somebody sit your ass down and wake you up and put you in the light and tell you what really life is all about, you're going to be in the dark still for a long damn time. So get out the dark and get into the light. Plain and simple.
And you talked about everyone needs a point of direction. What was yours?
Point of direction was, first of all, you got to have imagination. You got to have imagination on any idea. Like the idea y'all got right here. Y'all had an idea. Y'all imagined it first in y'all head. Secondly, y'all communicated. Y'all communicated to each other like, man, this is how it's supposed to go. And then y'all unified people. You got me on y'all live right now. So y'all got me on my text. Y'all got my email. Y'all unified me into this situation. Then the fourth thing I used was implementation. I use plan, creation, and action into everything I do. And then networking. I'm on here with y'all. Y'all did what actually I did. I wanted a house. I imagined it. Y'all wanted this situation. Y'all imagined. Y'all got it. I'm on here. So imagination is what it all starts with. And action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you have an accountability partner or coach or mentor?
Yeah, I got mentors. My mother's a mentor of mine. My father's a mentor of mine. You know what I'm saying? My mother, like she got wisdom. She can see a person from a mile away coming. You know, she's 70-some years old. She from Africa. You know, I ain't saying she got some kind of voodoo or nothing like that, but she always told me the real. She always let me know when you're around good people and when you're around bad people, you're going to see it. You're going to see how they react. You know, how one person will treat another, he going to end up treating you the same way down the line. So my mama said, always just listen, just see people. And then you going to know who you can deal with and who you can't deal with. So mentors, my mama, my daddy, and I got a couple of the people probably y'all follow too, like E.T. and all the rest of the, players. And, Myron Golden, I'm in his program too. So, I get the game from everywhere, man. I don't stop it.
Okay, so did you start an LLC or an S Corp? If so, why? And do you have it in a trust?
I don't have it in the trust. I started off in 2019 with sole proprietor. Mm-hmm. Then I started off last year with my LLC. See, I was sole proprietor for like 2 years straight. And the cool part, and that's another thing I like to tell people, is like, you can hear all the stuff you want to hear about business, but if you ain't gonna do nothing, ain't nothing gonna happen. So I stayed around LLC people for 2 years, making more money than them, selling my products. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even have an LLC. I only had a sole proprietor, but I still have my business account. And so I tell people nowadays, it's like, man, don't be just sitting on the sideline around people that has stuff going on and you don't have it going on yourself, like an LLC.
So did you create a business plan and do any marketing research when you jumped into the clothing business and book writing?
Yeah, I bought me a program. It was the 500 T-shirts in one day type of program or something like that. I bought it for like $500. I got his little strategy, then I implemented mine with some of the stuff that I knew from the old school and back in the old days, what we used to do. You feel me?
Go. Hustling was business.
Yeah, I mixed it on then, and I said, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it shake. And, it's been popping ever since.
So I think you kind of touched on this earlier, but what's your why? What makes you do what you do?
Long time ago, like let's say my mama and daddy, they always provided for us, right? Always. And then they hit a rock bottom situation. And one day we was having Thanksgiving, and you know how every black family has some drinks, and somebody smoke a joint or something. My mama didn't have no drink, my daddy didn't have no drink, and they wasn't feeling cool, and I felt it. And it was Thanksgiving Day. I'll never forget that, because they didn't have enough money just to go buy them a drink. And we a small family. It was just me and my brother and my sister and my dad and mom. So we was a really small family. We didn't have a lot of family around. You know what I'm saying? And when I saw that, it made me say, this ain't about to happen ever again. My mom and them gonna be able to drink and enjoy themselves on a holiday if they want to. And that's what, it may sound small to y'all, but I feel some type of way about that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So do you have an affiliate link or a program where others marketers can make money with you?
Yeah, man, you all can come on to my ronaldmbooks.com. You can hit that link and it will open up a whole bio to you can get to me. You can go to my email, organicguidance99@gmail.com, so you can contact me. You can go to Spotify, London Sky Spotify for clothing and CBD oil. My CBD oil will be uploaded within. It should be already uploaded. You know how Fever be acting. You know these fiber people. They be taking some time, but yeah, it's gonna be up. It should be already up. But CBD oil and clothing will be on there at LondonSkySpotify.com.
Hey, look. So we're gonna do some rapid fire questions. Just whatever come to mind, answer them that way. So, what's the most important thing you learned in life?
Keep on learning.
If you could turn back time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you say?
Fuck these niggas.
There it is.
If you could sit down and have a conversation with anyone, living or has already transitioned on, who would it be and why?
My grandmother, because she came with the wisdom. She the one brought my whole family from Africa to Europe to America, because she said it's gonna be we can make better moves. And she always told me, keep it moving. Ever since I was a young 8, 9 years old, she said, even if you don't got no money, make sure you look good, because it's all about your presentation at a young age. So my grandmother.
All right. If you could recommend one book for the people to read, what would it be?
The 4 Agreements.
Good book.
The 4 Agreements. Because you can't take things personal, man, and you got to be impeccable with your words.
What's your best tip for making our community a better place?
Communication.
Okay, how do you balance your family life with your work life?
That's some hard one, see, because I'm still fighting that one. I ain't gonna lie, I am still fighting that one. Right now, and I'm gonna be honest and true with y'all, like, you know, just on some uncut shit. I'm going through a situation right this now over a $500,000 house, you know, because of my business and what I'm trying to do. And the other half ain't not connecting or seeing what I got going on or where I'm trying to go. So I'm going through something right now. So that's a hard one.
Hey, so I know you kind of told us already, but before we end this, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you at again.
Hey, Mr. Understand Me Man on IG, or you can find me on Facebook at Ronald McFoy, or you can find me at YouTube OG CAFE, organic guidance, life skill advice. Hey, man, look, people grow where motivation flows. I'm Mr. Understand Me Man.
All right, you guys, this is We Got Problems, where we also have solutions, and we out.
From the team at CRC Empire, we want to thank you for listening. To stay connected with us, like, share, and subscribe to the We Got Problems podcast. You can find us on social media platforms at Curtis Martin 247, at Rhonda Wrights Official, and at the_trash_vegan_. We got problems and we got solutions.